Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary with a knife video. Just want to do a quick most carried for December 2015 video. Normally I do these, every month, month and a half. And so I've got some knives here with me that I'll share with you that have been quite often in my pocket for the last month. I do have a couple things to show you that haven't been in my pocket, but are more recent acquisitions. So they've been carried and I'm carrying them now, so I figure I may as well show it to you. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the knives I've been carrying, and this is one that doesn't come out of the display case much. This is the S30V Silver Twill Kershaw Blur. Really pretty knife. I really like this. I like the blur. Normally what I do is carry my standard, black wash blur, but I'll carry this if, number one, I know I'm not going to be doing anything crazy, or one of the things I've been carrying this last little while is the SE3, and notice I've changed my carry. I've got this carrying just like this now, and I actually like it in this configuration. With the clip a little lower and a shirt, it still conceals pretty well. Like you're not walking down the road broadcasting to everyone that you're carrying a knife. And you still have a substantial blade size, which this is, one of the reasons I really like this for an EDC fixed blade is because of that blade. A lot of times on an EDC fixed blade, you have to sacrifice some blade length to get into the size and weight that you want. Good example, Bradford Guardian. This is not most carried for this month. I've only had this for a little while, but this serves to demonstrate my point that a lot of times to EDC a fixed blade, you have to go with something quite small, which is why we often carry folders, right? If you look at the size difference in these two, obviously this one's much more ergonomic. I've got more blade, I've got more handle, but because it folds, it's not that bad to carry. This, because it doesn't fold, you've got to make sacrifices in terms of size and blade length. Anyway, the SE3 I find a good compromise because you still have a full hand grip. You do have enough blade length there that you can do most of the things that you'd want to do. And to demonstrate what I mean by that, these are much closer in size, okay, although this one still carries pretty nicely. One little update on this one, I have moved my clip to carry the knife vertically rather than horizontally, and I've actually been really liking this. I find I can carry it when I'm wearing a shirt untucked and not have any problem. So I have been carrying this way more so than this way now. All right, where to next? Let's do, I did some traveling. So the knives I took with me when I was away out of town for Christmas was the titanium military, the TM1 from Lion Steel, and the Cold Steel Code 4. All right, so this knife still very much loved. This knife I find is a great combination. You get a super tough knife. It's very thin. It's reasonably lightweight. So you get it, and it's still a big knife. Okay, so it's a great sort of trade-off on all the things we look for. It's easy to carry. It's super tough and durable. It also doesn't weigh too much, it doesn't feel uncomfortable in pocket, but you still have a big, tough folder, okay? So, great knife, great compromise or a great combination of all the things that we like to see in a folder. Let's see, where else should we go here? Oh yeah, since we're on a cold steel kind of kick, let's talk about the Swift. Swift is a knife, I've still been carrying it, I'm still liking it, I've had no problems with the spring. If you remember in the review, I made that point that I did know of some people whose lock spring broke. Mine has been fine, I've had no issues with it. Now, here's one thing I will say about this knife. The assist, I could actually take it or leave it. It's fine that it's assisted, I have no problem with it being assisted, but I love the shape and size and blade shape and everything else on this knife. So this is a knife I'd actually buy even if it was just a normal lockback from Cold Steel. What next? I've already talked about the Kershaw. Oh yeah, this is a different one. this knife is probably my single favorite CRKT. It may be the only one I have right now. This is an extremely well done knife. When these first came out, they were like 80 bucks. And I'd say worth 80 bucks, but they have come down now. And I think you can pick these up for like $50, $55. And that's a great, great price for such a cool knife. Like, that blade is just gorgeous. Fit and finish on this is good. Construction is good. This is a real feat, I think, for CRKT. Very, very impressive blade. And I have been carrying this every so often. Let's see, I already talked about that. Let's do my one more high-end knife. This guy has been in a lot of these most carried videos. This is the Ferrum Forge Ferrex. Absolute achievement in terms of a, you know, here's the thing. I know overbuilt knives are really, you know, a big thing, or that they have been over the last few years. Things seem to be moving a little smaller lately, but a lot of guys really hate on that overbuilt trend. Okay, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna, you know, criticize somebody for what they want to carry. It's your money, it's your knife, do whatever you want. But what I will say is this is a knife that's overbuilt. It's very strong, it's very durable, and yet it's not overly heavy. It's not so big and bulky that it's unruly. It's just a really, really well-built, well-implemented hard use folder. Okay, very, very, very capable knife. Ergonomics are just great. Size and weight are great. Steel is great, although it's not stainless. If you do buy one of these, I would highly recommend it. Don't get me wrong, I love this knife, but you do know you got to keep it oiled so that you don't get rust issues happening. Where are we going to go next? I've only got one ZT, and this is the ZT I've had the longest, and recently I've kind of come back to it just because it's just such a classic design. It's big. It does a lot of the things that I really like about a knife. You know, it's big. I love the blade shape. It's very strong. Again, very well built. Flips beautifully. And, you know, this is one of those knives where if I had to sell all of my zero tolerances except for one, I would probably keep this one. Now, I kind of like the 0200 better, but I'm realistic enough to say, look, I don't carry it that often because it's crazy in terms of size and weight. I like it. It's just, I'll admit it's not practical. This is much more practical. It's still a big, heavy knife, but you're getting more blade, more overall size than the 0200 for less weight, which is kind of nice. Let's see here. I think this one's last but not least. I've got the Spyderco Yojimbo. Just a really, really awesome blade, okay? This knife, I wasn't big on Wharncliffes, but for some reason I just couldn't kind of get this one out of my head. Normally I look at a knife and as soon as I see that Wharncliffe blade, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Time to move on. This one looked so cool and so practical that I really, really wanted to try it. So I've been very, very happy with it. And of course, I've actually been offered to buy this knife 3 or 4 times. I don't know why people keep offering, but I'm not planning to sell it. I love it. It's really, really cool. And it's actually because of this knife that I've gone ahead and tried other Wharncliffes and now kind of like them. So very cool blade from Spyderco. Definitely worth checking out if you've never done so. I think that's everything that I've got for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any questions about those knives, feel free to comment below. What I'd really like to hear from you, what knife is in your pocket? What have you been carrying the most lately? We will talk to you later.